On the last episode...
Who do you want to answer the survey next? Zach.
So it looks like we're doing this shit again. What is your biggest fear? Rejection and confrontation are a couple of really big ones for me. They aren't the biggest ones, but they're the biggest ones that I'm willing to talk with you about. I once asked a girl at a party for her phone number because the guy that took me to the party knew that I wanted to, but knew that I wouldn't, so he annoyed the shit out of me until I did. It was the single most horrifying train wreck you could have imagined, aside from an actual train wreck. For the last Rocky Horror that my cast, The Master's Affairs, did, I played Brad for the first time, and the girl that was playing Janet knew her part way better than I did, because of course it was my first time, and it definitely wasn't her first time being Janet. So at practice, she would kind of push or shove me into position, and I kind of freaked out and couldn't remember the next lines. So thankfully I talked to her before the show, and it didn't happen at the show, so she was very understanding about that. Little side note, for the Brad part, I did actually manage to fit all of this hair under a wig cap and under a wig, using a method that I came up with, and I'm very proud of that, so yay. How did you find out that Santa wasn't real? I was a kid that wanted to believe in Santa a lot longer than he probably should have, so I don't know how long I actually believed in him, but I know that a lot of my classmates thought that I still believed in Santa after I already didn't, so I trolled the shit out of them, and it was really fun getting them to explain that he was really my parents. What is the best idea you've ever had? If you know me, you know I have a lot of ideas that are philosophical or what ifs or whatever, stuff like that, and I'm not going to talk about that at all in this video, because that's just, a lot of that's unoriginal, and it's really not the right thing for this sort of format. So I'm going to talk about ideas that are housed in my documents folder on my laptop. The first idea is a fictional world that I'm still in the slow process of creating, just whenever I come up with an idea or something. It's essentially your typical fantasy world with like elves and orcs and shit like that, except it's set into the distant future when all of those races have had time to evolve. I also have developed the cultures for some of them, the religions for some of them, and I'm still fleshing it out. I'm going to be for a long time, because it is a very slow process and there's a lot of complication with it. The second idea was a universe alteration of the Lord of the Rings, in which the Fellowship of the Ning is another fellowship that exists around the same time and goes on a different mission, and I'm still in the process of writing that, even though I haven't really updated the Fellowship with anything about that. So yeah, I am still writing it. School's kind of slowed it down a bit, but I am still writing the story, and I'm still drawing pictures for it, and writing notes for it. I'm still working on it. Mini spoiler, Jade is Samwise Gamgee's cousin. What is the most embarrassing thing your parents have ever done? Really, I can't think of anything. I may have embarrassed my dad a time or two, but they've never really embarrassed me. We're really not easily embarrassed, aside from the fact that I asked my mom, and she couldn't really come up with anything that she remembers me being terribly embarrassed about either. It's just not a thing that happened for me. One life, one career. Choose. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that question means by one life, but as far as careers go, I don't think I want to do one thing for the rest of my life. That almost seems unhuman to me. I kind of want to do as much as I can. For the nature of the question, I guess I'll say flight attendant, so I can see all my friends for almost free. Who do you want to answer the survey next? I mean, I'd like the Peaceable Kingdom to answer the survey next, because I love that guy. But you're not tagged or anything, because frankly, I don't give a rat's fuzzy ass about these survey things. Dylan, I'll see you tomorrow.